Welcome to Wayzata High School for Lake Conference Wrestling, as tonight on senior night the Trojans welcome the Hopkins Royals over for a conference duel match. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox, and a lot of young talent for this Wayzata team, and they're off to a pretty solid start this year, winning 6 of their 7 duels. They've been in some tough tournaments as well, and a lot to like about their lineup, not only for this year, but in the next few years as well, especially in the real lighter weights. They've got a lot of talent, guys who are racking up some wins, and the future definitely looking bright for the Trojans. And meanwhile, for Hopkins, they'll have a couple of open spots in their lineup, but they're kind of on the way back to being a pretty strong team. They've got 4 wins so far this year. They also have 3 returning state entrants, so along the way we're definitely going to see some good matches. The Royals definitely have some possibilities to win some of those matches as well, with some top flight talent in some of the spots in their lineup as well. Probably not quite as much depth overall as the Trojans, and again, a couple of open spots certainly going to hurt them in terms of the team score, but definitely should see some good matches. Wayzata looking to repeat as Lake Conference champions, and this would be one step on the way. Hopkins, though, would like to come over here and maybe spoil the party a little bit if they could, and at least make it tough on the Trojans, if not win the duel outright. Well, it should be a good one coming up here as the teams get set to enter here. The lights dim now for the start of tonight's match. It is Hopkins and Wayzata wrestling action coming up here on CCX.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood, or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. As life gets busier than ever, we will still offer you a connected community experience through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
And it's Lake Conference Wrestling here at Wayzata High School as the Hopkins Royals pay a visit here to Wayzata on senior night, and a good start to the season for the Trojans. I'm Jay Wilcox. Jared Watts, an assistant with the Trojans program, joining us for tonight. And Jared, it looks like so far so good for Wayzata this year. You know, have you been happy with what you've seen, both the work in the wrestling room and on the mat during the matches so far?
Yeah, I think it's been a great season so far. We definitely got kind of a young team up and coming, and it's been great to see their progress in the room and then translating out onto the mat, but overall been a great season.
Hopkins definitely has some studs, you know, maybe overall depth probably not matching Wayzata, but they've kind of bounced back a little bit as a program. It feels like to me too, they're filling out a lineup for the most part, which, you know, isn't every team can't say that necessarily, and they've got 3 returning state entrants too, and that's a great thing, that even if the duel isn't super close, there are going to be some good ones along the way, it feels like. Yeah,
exactly. I think you said it well. Got a couple open spots tonight for Hopkins, but for the most part we should see some really solid matches.
And it kind of feels like once you get through that holiday portion of the schedule too, that now things really kind of tighten in and you're starting to get ready down towards sections, another month or so before we see that. But now is the time when everybody, you know, you kind of hope to get rid of all the illness and the injury and sort of get your lineup built the way it's going to be ultimately for playoff time too. So we will get set for our 106-pound matchup, and might see a pretty good one right away here actually, as if we see the guys we're expecting to see here. Jackson Williams for Hopkins, got about 16 wins this year. He was injured last year. And then Cal Lonnquist, an 8th grader who's had a very good year so far for the Trojans, coming in at 19-6.
Yeah, Cal with a quick takedown there.
2-point takedown, Wayzata's Lonnquist.
Kind of setting the tone early as he comes out and gets a quick 2. He was 7th place at the Rumble on the Red and won the Brooklyn Center tournament.
Yeah, he's had a good start to the season, especially for being a young kid.
And that's the thing, sometimes it's easy to get fooled a little bit too by, you know, you look a lot at grades, but some of the kids, you know, the guys who've been wrestling for 6-7 years already, when they come into the high school program, you can tell them right away.
1 point escape.
Exactly, he's letting him up, trying to get that takedown again, score as many points as possible here. He's trying to lock up that cradle now.
2-point takedown.
Ooh, Lonnquist getting getting it on. Still a lot of fight in Williams. He was able to kind of kick through the first time, but he's still potentially in some trouble here for sure, and a lot of time to go in the period.
Yeah, Cal's locking that up. He almost got away there on bottom, but Cal was able to bring it back.
Gonna stick with that cradle because he's got it locked in pretty good.
Yeah, and he's got 45. And Cal gets the pin there, locks up that cradle.
Minute 14 of the first period. It is Lundqvist of Wayzata getting the pin for the Trojans, so they get off to a 6-0 start.
Look at that right there. He just holds that nice and tight. Gets that pin.
13 pounds is Ty Schmidt. And for Wayzata, Kyler Wong.
Ty Schmidt for Hopkins, Kyler Wong for Wayzata, and there's a quick two as
looks a lot like Cal.
Yeah, he followed suit there, coming out ready to go.
Tries to dig that arm out, bring it up back.
Wong's also had a very good start. He was 4th at the Minnesota Christmas tournament, which obviously great competition there. 19-5 record so far this year. As he gives up the escape to Schmidt here and wants to go back to the feet and work on him again.
Another quick takedown, gets that ankle.
Takedown, Kyler Wong, Wayzata.
All right, that's good. Work off the edge here. In the middle. What? Middle.
1 point release.
Keep moving. Go.
And Wong is staying in that good position. Gets another shot in deep there. Keeps working and drives it to the mat.
2-point takedown again, Kyler Wong of Wayzata.
Been physical with him so far here. Now a 6-2 lead, and maybe now looking for a turn.
Yeah, he's really digging that arm out. Like you said, being physical here. That's a very physical move that he's putting on him there, and he's going to try to kind of tuck that head back in, cup it in, and see if he can work some back points there. Oh, decides to spin around on him. He's a very tight position. If he can hold this tight, it's over, gets pinned.
119, so almost identical timing to the first pin. So Wong shows why he's had a great start to the season so far here this year. So a couple of 8th graders getting the job done by Dave Drogomiller, a longtime coach in the Wayzata program. I asked, what's your team like this year? And he said, some young talent. He's really eager to work with these guys along with Coach Swenson and the rest of the staff here.
For Hopkins is Adrian Dysert.
Adrian Dysert for Hopkins and Cale Swenson for Wayzata. And as good as the first two guys are for Wayzata, this guy is probably even another step up. Cale is certainly a contender to win a state title this year, I would think, in his weight class.
Yeah, for sure. One of the top guys in the room. Actually kind of a cool little tidbit. Cale Swenson is wearing a pair of his dad's old wrestling shoes tonight, so giving a nod to his father.
Are they lightly worn, or are they really worn out?
They're pretty worn. I think they're from about the 80s, something like that, so they're old.
Swenson getting another takedown here as he was 24-3 this year. He won titles at Osseo, Chanhassen, and Brooklyn Center. 7th in the Minnesota Christmas tournament and was runner-up at Rumble in the Red. And a state entrant and state place winner, 4th last year for the Trojans at 106.
Go to that club, spins behind, gets that 2 there. Now he's going to try to work that cradle, see if he can get some back points, probably work for the pin here.
And Swenson will get it, and this one comes at a minute 4. They've all been around the same length of time, getting a few good hard takedowns and then putting them away for the fall. So 18-zip start here for the Trojans. And Swenson able to sock that cradle on tight. We go to 126 now. It will be Jamel Wisby for Hopkins and Matt Valerius for the Trojans.
See, it looks to be a physical match already. Both guys really putting in the work there on that tie-up.
Valerius 11-9 record so far this season. So at least on paper, this one probably, a little bit more of an even match that Hopkins has a shot into. A couple of guys who've been in programs for a while, seniors.
Yeah, so far they're kind of going back and forth on who's going to set up control in this match, and both look to be strong wrestlers. Valerius is working that front headlock, tries to spin behind, just misses it though.
Might see a couple of guys who would normally be in the Trojans lineup not in there tonight. You know, match count kind of things, and just also there's some depth being built, I think, along the way too. So, you know, got some other talented guys who we won't get the chance to see wrestle tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's kind of a weird position he's putting him in, but he ends up getting 2 there. And Hopkins stays off of his back. Valerius trying to dig out that wrist there. Wasn't able to get it.
Wisby trying to get to his base here and fight out of this. 40 seconds to go in the first period. A 2-0 lead for Wayzata's Matt Valerius.
Looks like Valerius is trying to set up that tilt. There he goes. He gets that Shriner tilt. Unable to hold him for back points, though. As the Hopkins guy rolls through. Going back to that physicality in the beginning of the match, Valerius is really trying to dig out that wrist. But Hopkins is holding strong there.
Yeah, a lot of times you don't think of the guys in the really lowest weights as being physical, but it feels like that's something that Wayzata is trying to teach to even the lightest guys in the lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say Swenson definitely tries to, no matter what weight it is, teach the same thing at all weights, and physicality is one of those.
Both up here to begin period 2. Valerius in on a quick shot, and he'll get 2.
Goes straight to that crossface. He's got a leg there. He's going to try to tilt him over, see if he can just pick up a couple back points there. Wisby is fighting hard, though. Doing a good job of staying off.
Briefly to his back, and now some back points coming.
And this isn't usually a pinning combination, just something to pick up a couple of back points, but depending on how Wisby does with it, Valerius could lock him up into something here, and we could see more than just back points.
Yeah, he didn't have anything locked up super tight, but he had him in such a tough spot that, yeah, if you roll the wrong way or something, you could find your shoulders down.
Exactly, and here we go is one of those weird situations as Valerius has his arm oddly tied up with Wisby here. They call for the stalemate.
I think both guys probably are not too disappointed to hear the whistle there, because it was just a weird spot. Got the 3 back points, so 7-0 lead for Valerius, and he's going to bring them both up here, so he'll give up a point. And Coach Swenson wanted to see them from both up.
Yeah, I think he feels just a little bit more comfortable for him to score points with he had the quick takedown at the start of the period. Here we go, another quick takedown, but he's having trouble getting those back points and really keeping him still when he puts him to his back.
First match so far that's gone beyond the first period, as Wayzata got 3 quick pins from Longquist, Wong, and Swenson, 3 of their very talented lighter weight guys, and again, they'll all be around the program for a while more. A couple of 8th graders, and then Kale, a 10th grader.
And again, the same move that Wong had when he pinned his kid. If Valerius can get those legs locked up, he'll have this pin. And there it is.
Just as you talked about it happened there. So he gets the pin, a minute 41 the time of this one. So Wayzata makes it 4 for 4 and falls to start the match here tonight.
And there he is, just trying to lock that up, getting that left leg over. As soon as he does that, match is over. Tight enough for that pin.
Go up to 132 now. And Ryan Bachman for Hopkins and Cole Chardelli for Wayzata. See, it's 24 zip, all pins so far for Wayzata. Cole is coming off an injury. He did win the Brooklyn Center tournament this last weekend, so he's 6-3. And he'll get a quick 2 here.
Yeah, it's been kind of a short season for him so far. He's just kind of getting back into the swing of things, but definitely had a good tournament last weekend. He goes hard for that crossface, gets that butcher, almost locks it up. Bachman, though, able to roll through. Trying to work the half Nelson now as he runs that. Bachman able to roll through again, though. He's just flirting with back points right now, but not able to hold them long enough. Goes back to the butcher. Looks like he's getting that pretty tight. He's got his 3 back points now, so now he tries to hold him for the pin. Bachman, though, is fighting hard. He really needs to work on that bridge. Try to get an arm through to get out of this. He's able to get that arm through, gets to his stomach.
Kind of tell he still had a lot of energy early in the match. Probably later, that one would have been a lot harder to get out of.
Yeah, I think you're right. He locks up that cradle, though. Takes that right leg, holds Bachman's leg. This is where it gets really tight. For Bachman, he really needs to kick hard here. That's what he's going to be trying to do. As Sardelli is able to keep it tight, though. Put his right leg over his left leg. Keeps it tight for the pin.
Gets the pin at 136, so Wayzata is kind of run through them maybe a little quicker than what we might have thought so far. Hopkins has got a couple of their better guys coming up here in the next handful of matches, but so far it's all Trojans, obviously.
Yeah, and been pretty quick. I don't think we've gone into the third period yet, so be hoping to see some tougher matches as we get up into those heavier weights.
So at 138, we've got Clifton Patterson, one of the returning state entrants for Hopkins. He was the outstanding wrestler at their tournament that they recently held and finished 4th at, so 18 wins for him. And for Wayzata, Ojeda might kind of have his hands full, probably one of the better guys that Hopkins has put out there so far.
Yeah, and he's in quick on that shot, that low single, works it up to get his 2.
2-point takedown for
Kind of the nice thing about wrestling is that, okay, if you're Hopkins right now, you're going to be pretty bad as a team, but you can still go out there and win your own individual match, and Patterson trying to set the tone early here.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the few sports where it's so individual, but so much as a team at that same exact time. And now Hopkins returning the favor, giving him 1, letting him up. He got that quick takedown, so again, he's just going to be looking to get a quick 2 points on Ojeda. He's being very physical on that head, working that underhook.
I think it can be good for, even the Wayzata guy in this spot too, to come in easy for the first few guys, but to really come out here and have to work and maybe even be in a spot where you're just, hoping to not give up big points and just stay in and fight in a match like this too. Because, and let's face it, you're not going to pin everybody all throughout the year and all that kind of stuff as much as you'd like to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing to do when you're up against a tough opponent. The best thing that you can do for the team is just trying to limit the amount of points that you're giving up, really wrestle smart, whereas an individual tournament, you can let loose a little bit more.
Staying at 2-1 here, that early takedown by Patterson, but Ojeda is showing to be a worthy opponent here.
Yeah, they're both kind of trading blows with the head, putting in lockups and getting control in that inside position. I think Ojeda's wrestling really smart because Patterson is definitely putting on the physicality and kind of pushing the tempo of this match.
Lucas, as a sophomore, has won 6 matches so far this season, so he's done all right. He's about just below 500. And Patterson with the takedown here late in the period.
Yeah, and Ojeda got called for that stalling there, just that he wasn't moving enough. And like I said, Patterson was kind of dictating the pace so far.
4-1, Patterson of Hopkins.
4-1 match here for Patterson. He'll defer his choice to the third, and Ojeda wants the up position here, not something you see chosen all that often.
Yeah, it's kind of an obvious sign that Ojeda's going to be trying to throw something on top, that he's got a good top move that he likes, and we'll see if he can throw it in or will Patterson get away. Yeah, and unfortunately for Ojeda, wasn't able to hold him down, and Patterson's quick on that shot after he gets the escape. Ojeda goes straight for that headlock, though. Patterson able to come out.
So Patterson will get another 2 there and takes a 7-1 lead. It was interesting. It looked like they were both going to go off, and then he took a quick shot, and there was a lot of action right on the edge of the mat there.
Yeah, it was smart wrestling by Patterson to stay in. Interesting there, though, that he lets him up and then pushes him off the mat instead of just staying on top and covering him. Ooh, Patterson is definitely showing his physicality here.
He kind of threw him to the mat, but he didn't get on top of him immediately. Now is close, and we'll have 2 more.
2-1 takedown, Patterson, Hopkins.
Patterson, though, not able to do a ton on top so far, so we'll see if he lets him go again, as he's been able to get a couple quick takedowns pretty handily so far.
It's always interesting to see. I think for a lot of guys, the first part of it is how you wrestle from your feet and working those takedowns. But then eventually, you know, you want your kids to become pinners if possible too, in the best of both worlds.
Exactly, and pins are so crucial in team dual meets, as you get those 6 points for the team, and he's getting back points there. He won't be able to pin him in this combination, but will at least be able to get 3 back points.
And he did
that score 12-2.
Yeah, and he did a nice job of realizing it too, that once he got the points, there's no need to hold it there. Let's go to work again right away.
Exactly. You can really tire yourself out trying to hold somebody there, and you're not picking up any more points. He's got that arm behind the back, though. If he locks this up tight, it could be trouble for Ojeda. Ojeda working to his base, though. Able to get that arm free. Patterson almost baiting him into coming up there and chopping him right back down to the mat. He's working that ball and chain right now.
He is going to survive the period, so a 12-2 lead for Patterson. We could be looking at him maybe heading toward a tech fall if he's not able to pin him, but so far it's a 10-point lead.
Yeah, and Patterson has really been working those tilts. That's how he got his back points. He was just about to hit another tilt before that time ran out, so he'll probably be trying to go back to a tilt, get those 3 back points.
Caution there to Patterson.
Good job. Way to cover it. Good work here. Pressure down, go over, control me, slide, change direction.
Ojeda's doing a good job of just not letting him in, not giving him space to work any of those tilts. Patterson, though, trying to run that half. Ojeda's able to work back up to his base there. Really not a lot Ojeda can do from there. He's trying to work that hand position as they both hand fight underneath there.
And there is a stalling and a point awarded there. And Hopkins' bench was kind of starting to get in the ear a little bit there and say he's not doing a whole lot there. 13-2 lead now.
And in a way, that's smart by Ojeda. He's just trying to limit the damage, because if he gets a major fall where he loses by 8 but not by 15 points, it's 1 less point that he gives up from the team perspective.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Patterson hasn't cut him loose, to be honest. I mean, now it's getting late to be thinking that way, but I thought earlier in the period if he didn't get something right away that he might do that.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Still comfortably at a major decision at this point, but again, they were looking for maybe more than those 4 points, so Ojeda doing what he needs to do to stay in there. Half minute to go.
Yeah, and it looks like Ojeda's going to stick out and do his job just by limiting the damage, unless Patterson can really come up with something big here. But yeah, I think it would have been smarter to let him up and get those 2 takedown again.
Another stalling point there, so 14-2, but under 10 seconds to go now. And Patterson is going to win it by that 14-2 score for a major decision, so Hopkins gets on the board.
Major decision victory,
Clifton Patterson showing you why he's one of the Royals' top guys and looking to return to state this year as he dominates that match and gets the W for the Royals.
At 145 pounds for the Royals, Sam Rachel, and for Wayzata, Parker.
Sam Reichel will go for Hopkins here against Parker Carey of the Trojans. Parker, a senior, 17-5 this year, and was a state entrant.
He goes quick to that cow catcher, not able to get it though. Locks him up, throws him to the mat for 2 points there. Smart wrestling by Carey there, just taking what the other guy gave him.
I think you always kind of build in these little challenges too. Say, okay, they won that last match. Now I'm going to come out and kind of take control right away here.
Oh, definitely. And as a team, you just saw the first couple guys get pins. Wayzata loses, so yeah, you definitely want to make a statement in this next match. So Parker's going to try to kind of turn the momentum, make sure it goes back to Wayzata's side. He's trying to dig in deep there. I think he's trying to set up a tilt. Looks like he's just going to let him go, get his 2 again.
He was a champion at the Brooklyn Center tournament last weekend as well, and I think he's really, been good to see the way he's developed throughout his career too. I mean, obviously some guys come in and right away they're going to be elite guys and state entrants and winning things, but he's a guy that's just kind of gotten better and better.
Yeah, and he's one guy who challenges people in the room, and it's good to see because he wants it. He wants to win. He wants to be in the glory, in the spotlight, so he's definitely worked for it. Stalemate there as Parker's not able to use that half to get any back points. And Parker goes to let him up, so that'll be 1 point for Hopkins. They will start neutral again.
4-2 lead here. Carey, and off the mat they go. I think you could tell the momentum was going. He was actually trying to slow him down so he could get the takedown.
He was, and he tried to put those feet back, keep those 2 feet in the circle, kind of like a nice sideline football catch. He's really working that club underhook, sweeps to that single leg there. He's going to bring him back down to the mat, just try to work back up to his hips. Able to secure 2 there.
Parker Carey of Wayzata.
Reichel to the edge, and they will go off here. 22 seconds to go in the period, and a 6-2 advantage for Parker Carey of Wayzata in our 145-pound matchup.
Yeah, Parker has been dominating this match so far. We'll see if he can pick up a couple back points, really make that score big, and he does. He gets that cradle. He's trying to lock that up. Hopkins really needs to, and there's a stick right there. Wasn't able to kick out of it. Parker locks it up. And a pin on senior night. That's big for Parker.
Parker Carey gets it done late in the period as minute 49 the time. So Trojans rack up another fall here. Their 6th of the night already.
And that's big for the swing of momentum for Wayzata as they had the momentum early on. And look at that there. He locks that up. Puts that knee in the side there. And that's the end of that match. But he's able to swing that momentum back to Wayzata.
D'Allen Rutherford will go for Hopkins, and Adam Eldemir for Wayzata here in our 152-pound match. You see the score now at 36-4 for the Trojans. Adam 8-8, and he won his first varsity event in the Brooklyn Center tournament. So, and a lot of teams from our CCX coverage area participate in that Brooklyn Center tournament. And obviously it's a little different level of competition than some of the real big ones, but I think it's a good one that in terms of you get some of maybe your younger guys or guys who haven't been winning quite as much, the chance to taste some success a little bit too.
Yeah, and a big tournament for Adam as he's a newer wrestler, still getting a couple, still fresh to those varsity wins, but big tournament for him. And so far, this is turning out to be a strong, contested match as both are kind of going back and forth with those tie-ups. Neither one really able to get position or control, but keep fighting with those hands, keep working on that head.
And they're both kind of coming in the same way, so right now it's kind of made for a little, haven't had a lot of action, but you get the feeling somebody might kind of explode out of there, and Rutherford trying to be the first to do so.
As you're saying it, he's got that single leg. He really needs to cut that corner as Adam tries to sprawl out, get his hips out. It's a good scramble for both of them. No 2 yet, though, as he doesn't have control. Rutherford is going to look to step over those legs. Oh, he pushes him straight forward, and he's got his control there.
It's interesting to see, too, because you can tell with some of the less experienced guys that when they are able to hear the bench, they actually, are able to put it into practice, because Rutherford definitely did what his coach asked there, and it quickly led to 2.
That's what we try to tell wrestlers all the time, is listen to your coaches. Do as we say, not as we do, though.
Yeah, high school coaches in all sports are hearing that message for sure.
Rutherford goes straight for that 2-on-1, trying to work that wrist under. Eldemir, though, doing a good job of just scrambling and working space.
0 Rutherford. Hopkins. Second period.
There is a look at Eric Swenson, the Trojans coach, 5th season, and definitely it's been a good program throughout the years. They've kind of had times when they were, inching toward elite, and maybe with all this young talent, I think maybe headed back in that direction possibly here, or at least that's their hope. Rutherford on top here to begin period number 2. He has a 2-point lead for the Royals.
And we'll see if this match stays as explosive as it was in the first period, as both guys are moving pretty quickly. And we'll see if that intensity stays up, or if they're going to get a little bit winded here and one guy will take over.
I was saying in a match we did last week, the first thing you're looking for is a guy who, and when they're inexperienced, is somebody who looks like they want to be out there, who aren't afraid, who are, willing to be aggressive and everything. I think both guys are fitting that bill, at least here in this match.
Yeah, they are both moving well and both trying to be physical with each other, which is another good sign as well. Eldemir trying to get that stand-up, but Rutherford is just too strong holding them down. Again, nice little scramble. We'll see if Eldemir can turn. Rutherford, though, holds on that leg, so no control has been given up here. And Eldemir, as he tries to spin around, we'll see if they give him one. Nothing, no loss of control. It's good scrambles, though, and it's good to see this intensity from both of these guys.
About halfway through the period, and the crowd getting into it a little bit here, as you see guys battling, and Rutherford's looking a little gassed. Eldemir was fighting hard to get out of there. He's probably a little winded, too.
He is, and that's not a good sign halfway through the second period to look a little gassed. That's not something that you want to show your opponent or the opponent's bench by any means. Rutherford has that leg in, though. He can do some damage with that as he tries to hip him over, but Eldemir staying strong. Looks like Rutherford's going to get some back points. Eldemir's able to scramble out of it, though.
Gets the reversal.
And that's really big. That could be the turning point and kind of swing in the match. We'll see how it all plays out, but that's a big momentum shift.
Yeah, particularly when it looked like he might be going to be giving up back points there, which didn't quite happen.
Oh, exactly. Rutherford was definitely in a power position, and Eldemir was able to scramble out of it. We'll see if he can ride him tough for these last 10 seconds. The goal here for Eldemir is just to keep him down and do not give up points right at the end of the period.
So we stay at 2-2, and we will head to a third period. There's Billy Behringer, the Hopkins head coach. Took over the program a year ago, and obviously it's historically not been a super strong program, but they always seem to have a few really tough kids along the way too. And I think that kind of holds true again this year.
Oh, Eldemir trying to hit that headlock, but not able to get it. Rutherford, he almost has to able to peek his head out there. He gets control, gets 2 points. So now Eldemir has got to go to work. He's down by 2 points in the last period. As Rutherford looks for that tilt, he's got that leg locked up. Only gets one motion from the ref, though, on the back points, so not able to secure any back points there.
Did a nice job with the hips there, and almost it looked like he was going to get more, but Eldemir still got some fight in him for sure.
He does, and it's defeating after trying to throw a headlock and then not getting it. Another good scramble, though, from the two. Rutherford almost able to take him to his back, catch him in something there as they were both scrambling hard. And as we're closing in on 1 minute here, this is where Eldemir really has to try to create space, try to create movement here, because he's the one who's down. Rutherford is just going to try to ride him out, see if he can get some cheap back points somehow. Rutherford in with that leg, though. He's definitely going to have some control. Oh, he puts in 2 legs. He's trying to run that half, but Eldemir scrambles out again. And if he can shake him here, he'll get that reversal. So now Eldemir is able to pull his head out there. He gets 2 now. We're all tied up 4-4 with 30 seconds left.
Who's got more in the tank here with a half minute to go in a tie match?
Oh, Eldemir trying to hit that tilt, see if he can get a couple back points, but not able to get it. Rutherford is staying strong. Looks like Eldemir could turn him on his back if he kept running that way, and He might get some there. Is the ref gonna? Ref is counting. There's 2. He's got 2 back points. He's got to hold him here for 5 seconds. See if he can hold on his back. Rutherford almost gave up the pin, but looks like Eldemir's going to pull that out.
Big victory there as he'll win it 7-4. And that's a nice way to close it if you're Wayzata there, and Eldemir, as he was down for a chunk of the match there, and he not only got the reversal, but was able to get back points late, and a nice win for him.
Yeah, that was a great match to watch. And there with under 10 seconds left, he was able to pick up those 3 back points, just kind of showing he had a little bit more in the tank at the end of the match, because they were very tightly contested throughout that whole match.
Demetrius Patton will go for Hopkins at 160, a returning state entrant, and he'll be facing another talented young guy, Caden Homey, for Wayzata, who's 14-6 this year.
Yeah, just based off body builds, these guys both look very similarly built, and this should be a very good match.
Patton approaching 20 wins this season for the Royals. Homey, a Greco-Roman wrestler as well.
Yeah, so far it looks like Homey is, kind of a little bit more of a reserve wrestler, kind of taking what he can get from the other guy, whereas Patton seemed very aggressive to start with, really moving a lot. So kind of 2 different styles going at it here. No guy really able to take control of here as they try to work position with their head, and they hand fight there on the hands on the bottom there.
Kind of trying to find something in the early going here, although it's a different, last match had some similarity, but these guys are a lot more experienced, I think. And
a little bit more calculated.
Yeah,
both trying to feel each other out in this first period as kind of who's going to take the dominance over in this match, and neither one is really showing anything or figuring out the other person yet. Homey in on a single, though, just not able to get deep enough. Trying to lock something up, though, with the upper body there, especially with that Greco-Roman experience that he has. That could be dangerous, but Patton able to get out of it. Oh, Patton in on the quick single. Lifts him up. Look at that. Homey recovers, though, and is able to not give up control there.
Try again to get him down, but Homey fights it off again.
That's incredible. It's hard to go up like that on Homey, and to be able to come out of that without giving up 2, really impressive there.
Homey will choose down. Boy, it sure looked like Patton was going to get a takedown here.
Yeah, he takes him up like that. That was a really good recovery by Homey, and Patton did a great job. I mean, he did everything right. Just good defense by Homey there.
Well, you always hear coaches saying keep wrestling, and when you're in the air even, he was still thinking about how am I going to make sure this doesn't happen. It's not too often you see a guy not get taken down in that spot.
Yeah, now Homey just trying to work hand position there, get his hips out, see if he can get 1 point, as Patton just keeps returning him to the mat.
Patton, I'm sure, frustrated he didn't get the takedown, but he was, able to show an ability to get in deep in that single. So that part of it, I think we'll see him coming back to that.
I think so too. He'll play big as we head into the third period. This looks like it's going to be a very close match. Again, Homey up with that stand-up, just trying to break those hands free, get his hips out, see if he can get 1 point. Patton doing a good job returning him to the mat there. There we go. Homey's able to face him, so he gets his 1 point loss of control there. So again, going back to your point, we'll see if Patton is able to shoot in there again, work that same takedown that he had before. A little bit different, though, than the first period. It looks like Homey's putting Patton on his heels, whereas Patton was able to put Homey on his heels for most of that first period.
I think this is a good match for both guys to, to face somebody who's equal caliber to make him work.
Yeah, there's a stalling on Patton there, showing that Homey's putting in a little bit more work and a little bit more pressure, kind of dictating the pace of it so far. But Patton with that warning stall, he's got to make sure he keeps moving throughout the match. He doesn't give up an easy free point to Homey just for not moving.
Under a half minute to go here in the second. Neither guy really able to get much in terms of any clean shots. And there's a point awarded to Homey.
Yeah, and that was a quick stalling call.
Yeah, I get the feeling that the referee kind of knows that these guys have some experience and don't really have, an excuse for not working maybe as compared to some other guys that you can tell just kind of don't have the, knowledge of what they should be doing as much as these two do.
Yes, exactly. And he shows some flash there by being able to get that single, but too late in the period to be able to work anything and score any points off of that. So Homey's got that 2-0 lead now. He's just going to want to ride him tough, see if he can pick up some back points. But Patton's got to do something on bottom, either get a reversal or work for a stand-up and then work a takedown. So kind of in a tough position where he's not been able to really get anything going so far. He had that one takedown possibility in the first period, so he'll have to escape and try to work that same type of single here again. Homey doing a good job, though, just breaking him down to the mat. Patton hits that Granby, but Homey's able to follow him. Homey just trying to work out a wrist here. And again, Homey's just trying to hold him down at this part, ride out the match, while also trying to set up a combination, see if he can pick up some back points. But there's Patton with that stand-up. So Patton's got to go to work now.
Yeah, the next 20, 30 seconds kind of tell the tale if he comes after him and can get something. But Homey taking a shot there.
Yeah, and that's smart on Homey. Oh, look at that. He gets that headlock. Oh. No points, though.
Off the mat. It was close.
Yeah, it looked like I thought he had both feet in, but smart on Homey, though, to be offensive and push into him, as he doesn't have any stalling warnings here with just a minute left to go. So he could sit back on his heels, but it's good to see him be on the offensive. And Patton for sure has to be on the offensive, down by one, but also has those two stalling calls already.
Yeah, and if Homey stays aggressive for a while, he still kind of allows himself the opportunity to take a stall late if he needs to.
Yes, exactly.
35 seconds to go. Homey still leading at 2-1.
Unless Patton's got something in the bag where he's going to shoot late in the match, hopes are not looking good so far with just 20 seconds left. Homey's in on another shot. Not able to pull anything out of it, though.
15 seconds.
This is where Patton has to go to his best shot, his #1 shot, and see if he can get away with it. Homey looks like he's going to get two here, though, unless Patton can really hold on. And there's the match. Homey did a good job of just getting around, getting his 2 points.
Yeah, great sprawl there, able to fight it off, and then he gets around for 2 of his own. So good victory there for Homey against one of the better Hopkins wrestlers, as Homey will pick up the 4-1 decision.
Yeah, tightly contested, 2 physical wrestlers.
Now at 100.
So we'll go to 170. It'll be Chris Roberts for Hopkins, and for Wayzata, Elliot Umlid, senior.
Yeah, another fun time for Elliott Parker Carrier, getting the win a while back, being a senior, and Elliott being a senior tonight. Definitely big, high expectations, and wants to get a win tonight. He works that front headlock to start with. He's trying to get that cow catcher, really pull him over almost, but not able to get it. We'll see if Elliott goes back to that front headlock.
I'm not sure what Roberts weighed in at, but he was listed at 152, so I'm guessing he's lighter than 170.
Yeah, and I believe this is Elliott's first time down at 170, so probably definitely has a little bit of muscle and strength on him. Elliott, though, just not able to get that cow catcher as he's working that front headlock. But it's been a good scramble by Roberts so far to stay out of that.
Yeah, Roberts a little longer and leaner body type, and I'm a little bit stockier.
Elliott down on that single. See if he can pop his head out, try to get 2 there. Roberts is doing a good job fighting that as he tries to throw that whizzer in. Elliott's going to try to pick that single up, maybe work for a trip. Roberts, though, doing a good job throwing in that whizzer and then straightening out that right leg. Elliott here needs to either come up in between his legs or see if he can work his head to the outside and then cut the corner, whereas Roberts is going to be trying to straighten that leg, and there's a stalemate there as both of them were locked up. Kind of neither one has shown too much control. I thought Elliott with his early front headlocks was going to show more dominance, but Roberts has done a good job really fighting out of that single leg and almost getting 2. Elliott goes for that ankle pick and is able to secure 2 right at the end of the period.
Just got it in time there, so 2 points to end the period for Eliot Omelet of Wayzata.
2-0 second period.
Not sure if he knew how late it was getting there, but just got it done in time. Omelet down to start period 2, trying to quickly grab that ankle.
He's got a hold, but Elliott looks like he's going to be able to slink out of it almost and set up a reversal here, unless Roberts can really power down on that head and work back points. Basically what he's trying to do with that left arm is just push his head under and expose his back in this situation. He does have Elliott's leg, which is going to bode well, but there's a stalemate again as both are just kind of locked up and they're tangled with their bodies. As you can see, it takes a little while for them to get out of that position. See Elliott there just able to roll and scramble, but Roberts did a great job of coming back around and getting on top of them. I thought Elliott was going to roll free there, but Roberts covers.
Yeah, he looked like he was definitely in position to get at least an escape there, but Omelet kind of wound up being off balance and lunging a little bit.
See if he can work that half there. That's what Roberts is trying to put in as he throws that right arm under Elliott's right arm, but he's basically just rolling up into a ball there, not allowing him to roll that. See if, Elliott able to hit the Peterson roll. That should be at least 2, and we'll see if he gets back points. No back points though, just a reversal, 2 for Elliott.
It's interesting because Roberts was kind of almost close to having his best little sequence of the match there, but it didn't turn out that way.
He was.
Oh, then he turns him to his back.
Yeah, with that half Nelson, that's what Roberts was trying to throw on Elliott, but Elliott able to get on top, put in that half Nelson, get his back points. We'll see if he stays on his knees there. I don't think he'll be able to work that pin. If he gets those legs out, though, he can work for that pin.
Ooh, that was close. Yeah, he's got him.
And he kind of switched up holds there as he took his left arm and tied it up.
Yeah, nice adjustment there by Omelet to be able to get that pin very late. Only 5 seconds to go in the period, too, when he got it. So he will get the pin for the Trojans.
Yeah, and right here he had already made that adjustment away from the half Nelson, able to make it a little bit tighter. And like you said, get the pin in the last 5 seconds. In the first period, he got the takedown right at the last minute.
So forfeit at 182. Gage Knutson receives a forfeit for the Trojans.
And
We'll go to 195 now, and
for Hopkins is
RJ Chacolas for the Royals.
And for Wayzata, Zach
And Zach Baugh. This is probably the top gun for the Royals. A definite place winner possibilities at stake for him. Undefeated this year.
Yeah, and Zach Baugh is going to have his work cut out for him as he's only seen a little bit of time at varsity here. And RJ with the quick takedown. Chacolas now trying to run that arm bar, see if he can get some back points there, and he's going to be able to show that back as the ref starts counting. He's only got 1 though. Zach Baugh could come out with the reversal here. Really surprising to see that.
Did get 2 back points for Chocolas, and then nothing more.
Chocolas again running that half Nelson here. Looks like he's got that locked up pretty tight. Va's going to have a tough time getting out of that one, and pinned by Chocolas.
So RJ Chocolas gets the pin at 53 seconds to beat Va, and the Royals get their second win of the night. I think we're going to have another forfeit at 220, the way it was shaping up anyway.
And at 220 pounds.
Yeah, and he just locks up that half Nelson real tight. Va tries to escape out of it, but not able to answer.
And for the Royals of Hopkins, they are open.
So Austin Franchino, the freshman, will get his hand raised for Wayzata in the 220-pound match.
60.
So a couple of open weights, as we said, for the Royals, and then we should have one more match to go here in the heavyweight, as Elijah Wolf for Hopkins will face off against Jack Carver of Wayzata.
Jack Carver goes straight to that front headlock. But nice job by Wolf getting back up to his feet there. Jack trying to work that underhook now. Neither one really able to establish control early on, but looks like Jack is really putting on the pressure here.
Carver 13 wins this year, also a football player and a track athlete, and got a win that gave the Trojans the duel against Osseo.
And he covers them for 2 there.
2-point takedown.
And looks like we might have some blood time coming here.
Sponsored by Q-Tip.
And actually surprising in a dual meet to have your first stoppage time for blood or injury to come in the heavyweight match. Been pretty clean so far.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking much about him. We haven't had anybody, any kind of injury or any kind of, equipment issue or anything either. It's just been pretty straightforward. Go at it and get after it here.
Yeah, it looks like he's just got a little bit of a bloody nose. Pretty easy fix.
At this time of the year, a lot of times you can get kind of dried out and see more of that. Like you said, it's surprising we haven't had anything more of that so far.
Also a good sign that seeing nobody get injured or no blood on the mat, so it's also a good thing.
Trying to get that all stopped there for Wolf and see if he can get back in there. Just a 2-0 lead here for Jack Carver as we have wrestled 35 seconds of the heavyweight match. If you're just joining us, Wayzata controlling this one for sure, as expected, but maybe dominating a little bit more than I might have thought coming in. 2 wins for Hopkins, be a couple of their returning state entrants. Clifton Patterson getting a major decision at 138, and RJ Chocolas getting a pin at 195, but Wayzata started out with 5 pins in a row, and obviously that kind of set the tone. And then in addition, the couple open weights for Hopkins, so the Trojans rolling so far here.
As they resume now, Carver on top, breaks him down. Elijah, though, does a nice job right away getting back up, but it looks like Carver is just being a little bit too much for him on top as he runs that half Nelson.
A lot of weight to try and fight off.
That is for sure. Not able to get any back points yet. Ref starts counting. He's got at least 2. Jack's just trying to lock that up now, see if he can hold him for a pin. He's got his back points. And he wants to get both those shoulder blades to the mat. Looks like he's got him pretty tight. It's going to be kind of a miracle for Wolf to get out of this from here, and there's the pin.
So Carver will add to the pin total tonight here for the Trojans as he wins at 1:15 with the pin in the heavyweight match. And pretty nice senior night here for the Trojans as they roll to the win, 66-10. Another look at how it finished off there as Jack Carver gets it. So congrats to all the seniors for the Trojans. And Jared Watts, thanks so much for joining us. Great job here tonight, and best luck the rest of the season as the Trojans battle towards section time.
Yeah, thank you very very much. Enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your night.
All right, so Wayzata winning at 66-10 over Hopkins. For Jared Watson, all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night here from Wayzata High School.
Thank you.